now that the draft's over, we can actually focus on the Chiefs roster construction and really take a look at what they're planning to do at some key positions that have some questions, to be honest with you. Welcome back to the RGR Football Channel. My name is Daniel Harms, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the cornerback position because when you look at what the Chiefs did in the draft, they really addressed their offensive needs and some needs on defense in terms of they added a depth edge position and a linebacker who's probably not going to be ready to start at middle linebacker until 2022. And when you take everything into consideration, there's five cornerbacks currently on the active roster in L'Jarius Sneed, Charvarius Ward, Rashad Fenton, Bo Pete Keys, and DeAndre Baker, who may not even play much of the beginning of this season. So really, there's only four corners on the roster for the Chiefs, and they only added a couple UDFA guys who you don't really expect to be starters or guys that can actually come in and play. So looking at this from a different standpoint, there are a few cornerbacks in the free agent market, Rashad Breeland being the one name that continuously is brought up for the Chiefs because obvious connections. He played the last 2 years here, and it would make sense to bring him back. Now, we're not entirely sure what's going on with that current situation, whether he wants to come back, whether he wants more money, or whether they're trying to figure out what's going on with his current legal situation. We don't actually know. We haven't heard anything, we haven't seen anything. And they didn't address cornerback in the draft. So that has to tell you one of two things. They definitely plan on addressing the position in free agency, or they plan on using multiple safety sets. They plan on using Lemons, maybe a little bit, Chris Lemons, as more of a corner type player, or they fully expect DeAndre Baker to be back in the fold next year, or maybe Bo Pete Keys is ready to step up. Because if I'm being honest with you, I'm not confident that Charvarius Ward should be on the field as a starter anymore. I think that he's a liability, and I think that teams can see that. And I personally want to see Snead on the outside a little bit more. And I think that it's kind of a weakness to have Ward out there by himself, essentially without someone a little bit more experienced. And Breland and Snead, in my opinion, would be a very good 1-2 corner punch. And I think that Ward should be coming off the bench and they should allow Fenton to play in the slot. I'd be even okay with maybe Fenton on the outside and Snead on the outside too. I think that could be play out pretty well too. The free agent market, like I mentioned, is pretty dry. There's Richard Sherman, who is probably not going to come to this defense unless they switch to more of a cover two defense. Because at this point, at 33, that's what you're really asking him to do. And there's some other names out there, Brian Poole and Casey Hayward, Steven Nelson name popped up here. Those are really the guys at the top of the list that make the most sense in terms of experience and playing at a high level. Now, I would take Steven Nelson out of there because I think he fit better as a scheme fit in Pittsburgh. He doesn't really fit in this scheme. He's not a very good man corner, asked to turn a run. He's definitely better when he can see the quarterback and everything going on in front of him, much like Marcus Peters in that sense. Obviously, two different players, but we're not going to compare two players who are no longer on the Chiefs right now. So it's an interesting topic of discussion because going into this season, that really is one of their weakest areas in terms of their starting projection. Yes, Snead showed a lot last year. He showed a lot, but again, this will be his second year. He was a rookie. You can't expect him to always take steps forward. And as much as we may want to, and we can project that because we saw a lot last year, we need to take it with a grain of salt, especially if you're considering he's going to be out there with Javarius Ward, who plateaued 2 years ago, in my opinion. And I don't believe he's going to be much better this year, even putting him in more closer contact situations where he can use his length and his physicality that way. I still think he's going to be taken advantage of by players who can run better routes. So the cornerback position is definitely an area of wonder and a little bit of worry at this point with them not addressing it in the draft and trading up for a tight end. I get it. I like Noah Gray. Maybe you get a corner there instead. That can probably help your situation a little bit. And then you draft. I don't even know if Gray would have been drafted. Maybe they got him as a UDFA, to be completely honest with you. So that leaves some interest because they prioritized a guy like Gray over a cornerback position. So either they have a plan in place with Breland, or they're expecting DeAndre Baker to be ready, or they're ready for Bo Pete Keys to play more. I'm not entirely sure what their plan is, but I wanted to get this out there because with that position being rather thin right now, it's actually quite thin, and they're playing more safeties. I get that, but they still need corners. They need talented corners. They have Snead, and after that, their cornerback position is pretty bare. So what do you guys think? What do you who ideally, if you could have somebody come in and play that secondary corner position, who would it be? Is it someone on the roster? Would you prefer Breland? I would rather leave Breland out of it because we all kind of expect him to be back this season. So outside of the realm of Brashad Breland, what do you expect to happen? Who do you see there? Maybe DeAndre Baker, his recovery has been miraculous, and he's going to start, a training camp this season. We don't really know, but I want to hear you guys' thoughts, and we can have a nice conversation about the cornerback position going into the live stream that we plan on having on Thursday night. So make sure you hit down in the comments what you guys plan on seeing, what you think they're going to do more in the secondary overall, and we'll have a nice talk about it. I hope you guys like this. We're going to keep these little short videos going, especially because talking points are at this point of the offseason are very important. And I think this is one of the biggest talking points right now. So hope you guys have a great day. And, I'm hoping that the Chiefs figure out this cornerback position before the season. Obviously, they always have a plan in place. So with that said, have a great day. And I hope they figure this cornerback position out.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.